Great to hear your voice, Jenny. How was the launch?
My launch experience was pretty darn good. I don't think it was as good as yours, so it's great to see you guys off the planet.
Canada's Jeremy Hansen on board the Artemis II mission, speaking there to his backup for the flight. That's Jenny Gibbons. In the last hour, as you can hear, comms are working. They can hear each other, and the crew are getting ready for the crucial next stage of their flight to the moon and back. We're getting close to that moment. So to talk us through what we're seeing, what we're going to be hearing, I'm joined now on set by Aaron Bowley, physics and astronomy professor at UBC and co-director of the Outer Space Institute. So that just makes you the perfect person to have in studio with us. So thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And we've also brought in Johanna Wagstaff. If you've been watching over the years, you know she is, and as well Darius, our two probably biggest space enthusiasts. So we wanted to make sure you got to be here, part of this moment as well. But Aaron, let me just ask you. Let's start. The moment that we're leading up to here, what is it we're talking about here, and how is it going to work?
Right. Well, this is the moment when the Orion capsule with the crew is going to go from an orbit that is primarily about Earth to an orbit that is now transitioning between Earth and the moon. And that is really what's going to take then the crew to that wider orbit in which they're going to go around the far side of the moon. The moon's gravity is going to bend that trajectory and then send them actually on what we call a free return back to Earth.
I was talking to Miles O'Brien, who you probably are familiar with, a space communicator, who's well known within these circles, just about the sort of significance of this moment.
Yes.
The launch was obviously, it was spectacular. Everyone around the world got chills who were watching it.
Right.
But I think for those science enthusiasts, and I'm putting you kind of both in the same category, it feels like this moment that we are going to have for you as it happens, we will, once we can hear it, our control room's going to let us know. Is this maybe almost an even bigger moment?
Oh, every one of the burns is a huge milestone along the way. And so this is where there are constant changes to the orbit of the capsule. So the first one was just as they got into orbit, and they went ahead and hit that burn to make it wider and ensure they stayed around Earth.
So what we are, just want to point out, what we have here playing in the monitor, NASA is, and I want to talk about this in just a moment, but NASA has a feed that they are putting out. And so we are able to show you the images that NASA is sharing of this particular moment. So I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, no, absolutely, please. And so now that they're on this wider orbit, they're coming very quickly toward Earth. And just as they get the closest point toward Earth, they're going to start firing the thrusters once again. And that is going to accelerate the rocket on that trajectory in the right direction to be going toward the moon. And every one of those phases where they actually use the thrusters is a critical moment.
I thought this part was interesting. You mentioned that they're getting to their closest point to Earth before they fire that boost and head out to the moon. And I was thinking about why they would choose the closest point to Earth rather than the farthest in that high Earth orbit.
It's a great question. It's something known as the Oberth effect in celestial dynamics. And so what happens is when you are closer to the object you're orbiting, you're moving faster. When you're farther from the object you're orbiting, you're moving more slowly. Orbits are elliptical. A circle is only one possibility. And when you're moving very quickly, when you're close, and you fire those thrusters, then you get this compounding effect of both the speed that you're going as well as that thruster boost. And so they utilize that in the orbit design to ensure that that injection is done with the least amount of fuel they need.
So it's like kicking your legs at the top of the swing when you're in swing mode to get the perfect thrust out.
It is just maximizing that. You're using dynamics in your favor.
That's even better than the analogy of making sure you get at the right moment of the skateboard ramp that I was thinking. But until you did that, I didn't actually want to bring this down to layman's terms.
I was also thinking, is it happening?
What? Actually, I'm just being told by the control room that we should throw to NASA. It may be something important for us to listen to, so let's take a listen. Oh.
On the Orbital Maneuvering Service Engine, part of the European Service Module. Continuing to hear good calls here from Prop in Artemis Mission Control in Houston, Texas.
Integrity looking good.
Integrity copies.
Velocity of the spacecraft ticking up, now over 23,900 miles per hour. Two minutes into this 5-minute and 50 burn. Continuing to get good calls here in Mission Control Houston from all flight controllers.
Integrity, we copy the enabled caution, no crew action.
Okay, integrity copies.
The crew did receive a caution on their screen and have no action at this time. We continue to burn the translunar injection burn.
Integrity, similar caution, no crew action.
Integrity copies.
Over 3 minutes now into the translunar injection burn. These live views coming from Orion as it looks back on Earth, leaving high Earth orbit and beginning its journey to the moon. We are now 230 miles above Earth, 246,500 miles away from the moon. Again, this burn started on time, MET, mission elapsed time, 1 day, 1 hour and 14 minutes. We are targeting a 5-minute and 50 second burn. We've just hit the 4-minute mark into the burn. Quiet here in Mission Control Houston as flight controllers continue monitoring all systems. Everything looking good. We have 1 minute left in the translunar injection burn. Everything continuing to look good. Again, these live views coming to you from Orion as it looks back on Earth and begins its journey to the moon. And this, a live look inside Mission Control Houston. Flight Director Jeff Radigan monitoring all of the Orbit 1 teams. NASA Administrator Jared Isaacman has also joined us in the room to monitor the translunar injection burn. We have less than 20 seconds left of this burn. This is the final major burn for the mission because this also serves as our deorbit burn.
Integrity looks like a good burn. We're confirming.
Integrity copies.
Confirmation from teams here on the ground to the Artemis II crew aboard Orion.
Okay. So we just heard them say, looks like a good burn. And you couldn't see in studio here, but I've got Aaron Foley with me and Johanna Wagstaff. And they both went, yes! They were very excited.
We did it.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, amazing. It is, you know, okay, I have to say that for me, what's amazing is that we can visually see this happening.
Yes.
I cannot believe that we are able to see that shot of the Earth. And I heard, and we're looking at it again right now, and I heard Johanna sort of whisper to you asking, are we going to see it get smaller? Probably not very quickly get
not
smaller.
Not very quickly, but yeah, over time. And then on this mission, they will have an Earthrise. So going back to that amazing image that has changed the perspective of so many people. And that will be done for a whole nother generation in a completely new context.
And up until now, the astronauts have seen a couple moon rises, but this will be their first Earthrise. And yes, the curvature of the Earth will become a shrinking blue ball within the next few hours, which is just wild. We haven't seen that in over 50 years.
Yeah, no, I mean, we're used to that. We've certainly seen the images, but I think, you know, every time a picture is taken, things look a little different. I'm excited to see how it might. Does it look a little different? Is it as amazing to you as it is to me that we have this kind of access to the live images coming from a spaceship?
Oh, absolutely. And you know, even though it's something that I talk about in classes, and it's something that I communicate with others, when you see it happening, it's still this amazing moment that you could just sit back and really consider just what the human experience is doing and what we're capable of doing when we're working together.
Can you talk to me about what is going to happen next for these 4 astronauts? I mean, I know they're now going to make their way, around the moon, but at what point do we lose communication? Well, does the control, mission control lose communication? What's going on for them?
Yeah, so just for the broader context, right, this is very much a test mission, a crewed test mission. And so they're checking out the controls, and through every part, they're just running emergency procedures. They're checking out the exercise equipment, and they're just really trying to understand through their own experience and being on board how to live in this capsule for that whole journey. Now, when they do go around the moon, there will be a period of around 40 minutes or so where they are going to lose contact then with Earth, and that's just because the moon's in the way. They're going behind it, and so you can't have the communications.
And obviously NASA is feeling comfortable with this, and the astronauts are prepared for that 40 minutes.
Yes.
Will you be watching whatever feed was available and just waiting till that 40 minutes is over?
Absolutely.
I will too.
I will too.
You know, there are so many parts along here where we could just sit back and just be amazed at what's actually happening. And with this burn, we'll find out for sure in just a little bit, but it seems like they are on track to being the farthest that humanity has ever been from Earth.
I mean, and to that, we did hear them very calmly, by the way, and I'm not surprised, but mission control, so very calm, in their, and all of their, even when we heard yesterday, if you were able to listen in, and they said we knew they had lost communications, and then they had reestablished communications. Unless you were really attuned to what was being said, nothing would have registered in terms of the voice or cadence that there was any kind of concern. And I don't know that there really was, but certainly very cool in mission control, as we heard them say that they thought that things were going well.
Well, they have a whole series of procedures that are set up, and so when things aren't quite going right, they go to a backup procedure. And when that backup procedure is not going right, they go to the next backup procedure. So they have trained for this, they have planned for this. There are many levels that they go through. And so if something's not going quite right, it's just remaining calm and following what those procedures are so that if there's an issue, it can be successfully resolved.
And as I say, it wasn't apparently a very big issue, of course, and we were all listening so closely because of what was going on.
Yeah.
But they didn't also stop they didn't stop the feed. They didn't, press pause. The public, if they were listening in, still had access to this. Yeah. What's the thinking behind that?
Well, I mean, I can't give all, the full detail of what they're, working through, but they want everyone to see this experience, and they want everyone to see how they are actually methodically approaching it. And that even when something might seem like it's going wrong, and there have only been little hiccups through this, to be very clear, that they have that process, that they are able to successfully rise and meet these challenges. And I think they want people to see that. They don't want to see something just go away and say, oh, what are you doing? Why is something else going wrong? No, they want everyone to be able to witness what is happening in this amazing moment in history.
And to that point, it's been really fun listening to the astronauts talk to comms throughout the day. Just a couple seconds ago, they said the burn is officially over, and you just saw a slight fish pump from mission control. And just an hour before the burn started, I was listening to Jeremy Hansen play around with the GoPro. That was his. He was trying to figure out the angles on the GoPro, trying to get the perfect shot. So they're all working these different jobs. And I just heard astronaut Christina Koch say, as they gave the go ahead decision, I loved this line: "We do not leave Earth, we choose it." And these are the moments, right, that just show up when you're listening to the communications between those two. I love it.
As science communicators, you both are, to different degrees. Look, there's a hug happening. They deserve. I'm happy. I'm really happy to see that happen, and the big smiles. That's really great, because I feel like they deserve as much as the 4 members do as well on board. All of those in mission control deserve to give a fist pump at this point. But the open communication, the video, the access here. How does it change, or what does it do for your role?
Well, I mean, this is part of course, something even bigger, and that is that sustained presence beyond Earth. And so humanity has now decades of experience living in low Earth orbit. And so this is a test mission, but that test mission is to be able to have a sustained presence then on another celestial body. The Earth is such an important, the Moon is such an important part of Earth. They formed around the same time, and they have this connected history. And learning about the Moon is learning about us. And so having a sustained presence at the Moon is something that I'm very much looking forward to, with the possibilities. And we don't even know all of them at this time. And so, what can happen, I'm really looking forward to seeing what can happen.
Aaron Boley, physics and astronomy professor at UBC, co-director of the Outer Space Institute, our own Johanna Wagstaff. Thank you for being with me here for this moment. This was really great.
Oh, thanks for having me.